Hello everybody and welcome, and this is the Midnight McBride show, show number 39. And this week's guest is the youngest guest we've ever had on the show. She's also a YouTube influencer and a blogger, and has managed to get 13,000 subscribers. That sort of beats my 127 at the minute, so very good. Els, hello.
Hi.
Hi, Els. So, Els, your father's actually coming on this show in the not too distant future as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
And that's how we've sort of got put in touch with each other.
Yeah.
Now, we've never had an 18-year-old on the show, not by a mile, actually. The youngest people we've had on the show are in the sort of late 20s, I think. So hopefully it'll be refreshing and a different perspective. In your name tag, it's vlogger, influencer with a monetised YouTube channel, and founder of Eleanor Garrett, the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
So pretty impressive stuff, that, you know.
Thanks.
You do your own editing as well.
Yeah.
And you use one camera. I managed to see your kit today. So you do a lot with not so much, and you're very successful at it. So my hat goes off to you.
Thank you.
Yeah. It makes me seem like an amateur, I think, definitely. Yeah. So, Els, what do your friends think about all this?
Well, it's
Because you're famous.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't go that far. I suppose it's obviously, I think growing up, I started this all back in 2012. So I was like 11.
Right.
And it's obviously, as kids, it's mixed when you're younger, because it's more like, you know, the kid on the YouTube channel making fun in school, poking fun.
Were you popular at school?
No, not at all. No. I'd say as I got to like GCSE time, I had my closer friends. But before that, I'd say like Els with the YouTube channel was like the thing that's all I was known for. But it was more like a poking fun term.
Yeah.
But I guess as things have just gone my own way, I've just stayed in my lane and just done what made me happy.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I couldn't believe it when I saw your dad said, check this out. And I had a look. And in my mind, I'd envisaged, you know, I've got friends with lots of followers on, say, Instagram and things like this.
Yeah.
But a follower and a subscriber, a whole different ballgame.
Yeah.
You know, I've got 2.5, I think nearly 3,000 friends on my Facebook, but only 127 followers on my YouTube.
Yeah.
It takes a long time. And
it
people
does.
have got to want to come back and watch you again, haven't you, to know to subscribe. What we're going to do, we're going to take a bit of a left turn here, and we're going to get to a lot of this because I've got lots of questions, because I need to know how you do it.
Yeah, sure.
But we'll talk about maybe your life, first of all, and in your 18 years, your journey. Now, you're Windermere based, aren't you? And were you born there?
No, I was born in Liverpool.
Born in Liverpool.
Yeah.
And you were a teeny tiny baby, weren't you?
Yeah. I think 27 weeks, if I'm not stand corrected.
Right. You mean prematurely born?
Prematurely born, yeah. Obviously, I don't remember it.
Yeah.
But, you know, I suppose it's just like part of the story.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, your dad quoted me a figure. You were £1 12 ounces when you were born. That's incredible. But you're super fit now.
Well, yeah, understatement. So I don't know. It's just, I suppose it sounds like shocking when you say it, but I suppose like I don't remember it. So yeah.
Do you live at the retreat with your father?
I don't know. No. So that the house where it's based, that was my home for 16 years. Right. I lived there my whole life. Yeah. I only just moved out during the lockdown at the very beginning in March. Right. So now I'm in Kendal at the town, 20 minutes away. So
okay. Still the lakes.
Yeah.
I'm up there all the time. I go to Ulverston, to Manjusri, which is the Buddhist centre there. Not so much this year, unfortunately. I also go to Rydal a lot. I go to Grisdale all the time, and I go running and walking there. And I'm a massive fan.
Yeah.
You know. I've got a lot of friends there now as well, including Catherine Beaumont, who does something called Meditate with Horses, and Debbie Henderson, who has something called Hands on Heavy Horses, and also a guy called Ben Atkinson, who climbed up Big Ben dressed as Boris Johnson not long ago for Extinction Rebellion. So, yeah. A question I was thinking about when we had the pre-show chat, Ellie, is what's it like when your dad is a guru? Is he always right? Does he ever become unpeaceful? Is it funny?
I mean, yeah, I think he's obviously, I think when we were younger, I obviously wasn't aware of it. I couldn't tell you when he began all of it. I think it's one of them, like we both have our solo interests and we talk about stuff like that sometimes, but I think because it's not really something I'm super interested in, he just, does his thing and I'm like,
it's
whatever makes you happy.
a lot of the people who watch this show will find out in the next couple of episodes who your dad is. And he's an expert in NLP and meditation, breath work, and a whole host of things as well. What I found out, which I didn't know until today, is you're actually a Christian. Yeah. So you're a church-going lady. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah. How did you get into that?
I would say it was obviously from when I was young, like I was christened when I was born. Yeah. To be honest, I didn't really start kind of building a relationship with the Lord until about a year ago. And I think, everyone has their thing that brings them peace. Of course. And for me, like, I think I've only really felt like I've had something that brings me that proper peace since I've, began going to church properly and like reading my Bible and everything. But, it's just what I do every morning. It's just what brings me happiness. So.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah. I say in the book that one of the quotes in the book, From Pills to Peace, is you've got to try the 10 to find the 2.
Yeah, exactly.
You try everything. The door's got to stay open. Yeah. Try new things. And that's the only way you'll find what works for you. If you don't try new things, you'll never find the 2 that work for you.
Yeah, exactly.
And for me, it's, meditation and Buddhism and yoga. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't really matter. It's different for everybody. And what's quite surprising is as you go through your life as well, what worked for me 5 years ago doesn't work for me now. What you find in your life that brings you peace, that will also probably change as well. Mm-hmm. Some things are constant through your life, but other things change a lot.
Yeah.
But, so you were 11 when you started your YouTube channel. Yeah. So I'm assuming at that stage you had a bit of help?
Yeah, mainly from my brother. I think I couldn't even give you a reason how or why it all began. Yeah. I think I was just running around with a camera for a while, and I think it was Mike, my brother, who's just like, just put it on, why don't you put it on YouTube? Like, he was probably like 10 at the 10 or, oh no, I was 11, so he would have been like 14. Yeah. To throw it on YouTube. I had no idea. I think I was just doing it because he told me it was cool, so I wanted to be like my big brother. But like 11, it's just, I think in school as well, especially, like if you can't find a group of friends, I couldn't find a group of friends in school that I could really relate to.
Yeah, another way of expressing yourself.
Yeah, and like finding that community online of people that are on the same wavelength as you and are interested in the same things. I think even at a younger age, it's quite a nice thing to have.
I've looked at some of your videos and you sort of review things, talk about... It's a bit alien to me because I'm so unhip. It's not, I've bought my clothes in Asda for years. I've no idea what music's in the charts. I don't watch television. So it was a bit of an eye-opener for me. Mm-hmm. But you review things, talk about current trends, topics, this kind of thing. I mean, how would you describe it?
I've tried so many times to articulate it in my mind to think if someone asked me, what would I describe it as? I would just say I generally 80% of the time am following trends and just putting my own twist on it. It's quite a saturated thing on YouTube is to follow the trends. So I try and catch them earlier. But I find a lot of people doing it are American. So I think my like unique selling point, if you will, is probably the fact I am from England. I don't see a lot of British people doing what I'm doing. Yeah. And it's working so far. So
if I was at home and I was watching this and I'd seen your channel, there'd be some questions I'd have. So I'm going to throw some of those out.
Go for it. Right,
so we'd start with, what kit do you use?
Basic.
Well, you say basic, but I've seen your camera and your microphone and stuff. And I mean, it's not cheap. It's still expensive stuff, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, my dad definitely supported me at the beginning. Yeah. He bought me that camera probably when I was about 13. So I've had it a while. I bought a G7X about a year ago. Yeah.
That's the Sony, is it?
No, that's Canon.
Canon, sorry.
Yeah, Canon G7X is like the notorious like vlogging camera. Yeah. So that, I don't invest in it a lot because I think what I have works for what I'm doing.
Exactly, yeah.
You know, and my laptop, I replaced that recently, but it's just once in a blue moon for me.
So maybe tell us the camera you use at the minute, because you've got a camera with you today.
Yeah.
And also the microphone. What's
that? So I film on the Canon 700D, I believe, and I use the Rode VideoMic Pro.
Yeah. It's quite a big camera, isn't it? It's really chunky.
Yeah.
It's a DSLR, is it?
Yeah.
And then maybe tell us about the editing process, because you do your own editing.
Yeah.
And you do things that I can't do.
Right.
So, for example, when you do your video and you'll use your hand like this and indicate, and writing will appear.
Yeah.
And you do your own thumbnails.
Yeah.
And you have sort of catchphrases as well at the beginning of your videos, don't you? I've seen. Tell us what they are. There's one that goes, hello, come on.
I think, you know, I actually didn't have a structure until lockdown, because I spent the most of lockdown making videos just constantly. And because I was making them so much, I think I did kind of make like a recipe in my mind, like an indirect recipe.
Like you've got like a handle at the beginning where there's 3 or 4 phrases you use.
Right, yes.
And I want you to do it.
Well, wait, I'm trying to think. Is it the bit where I'm like, like asking people to subscribe?
No, right at the beginning, you'll go, hello.
How you doing? How you going? My name's Els. Welcome back.
Yeah.
Wait, welcome back to my channel.
And quite often that's edited, so
Yeah.
3 or 4 phrases you use that you put together. Yeah. So you've already got like a style.
Yeah.
With your editing.
Yeah.
And I've also seen you have perhaps Peppa Pig. I thought those must be the first videos, but they're not. They're quite recent.
No, definitely more. It started as an inside joke with my friends. I'm going to tell them to watch this, and they're going to be laughing. Started as an inside joke with us, and it's. Do you know what a meme is?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So it was like a meme online, and I've just kind of incorporated it, but it's turned into people making like fan accounts and editing me into photos of Peppa Pig. So it's gone a bit further than I expected.
Maybe tell me, because I know what a meme is, but I'm on about a book by Richard Brody where he describes what a meme is. Maybe tell me what a hip meme is, because I'm probably completely wrong.
I think it's someone will just do something. Normally it's a video, someone will do something where they don't mean to be funny, but it's funny. So they'll say something or do something. But obviously Peppa Pig was like, I mean, I watched it when I was younger, but people have just started editing the episodes to make them, I guess, a bit more like adult and funnier than they are. And it's just turned into like an online thing. So I just incorporated the jokes and it kind of just snowballed into, What I thought as well, I looked at some of your videos and I was expecting them to be all quite short, 5-minute videos. Yeah.
Some of them are far longer, aren't they? Half an hour videos. There's one where you're baking cakes. I think that's one of your newer ones, isn't it? Yeah. So you actually, as well as telling people about your life and talking about what's trendy and reviewing stuff, on top of all that, you're trying and testing things as well.
Yeah.
You know, like baking cakes. That's a good half-hour show, that, where you've not time-lapsed it. I'm not quite sure you've done it, but you've got your camera set up. You film at certain stages as you're cooking the cakes, don't you? As you're going through it.
Yeah.
So, Els, this will be the big question. Everybody at home is probably going to ask, and I don't know if it's an easy one to answer, but how the hell, if I can use that with you being a Christian, but how do you manage to get 13,000 subscribers? Did it happen? Was it a gradual process, or did you wake up one morning and think, oh, I've got another 1,000? I bet it's exciting if it happens like that.
Yeah. So it took me 8 years to get 1,000. Yeah.
Right. So it's all happened this year?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So so it took a year to get 1,000.
So you're a lockdown legend.
Well, I'd say I definitely used my time well.
Yeah.
It took a year. It was about March of when I was finishing year 12, so like a year ago, where I hit 1,000, big milestone at the time, because I was over the moon. Yeah. I think that's like your first, I think you go 100 and then 1,000, but I thought to get your first 1,000 on YouTube is harder. It's harder to hit 1,000 than it is to hit 10.
Yeah.
And then lockdown period, I started making a lot of trendier videos where I was talking a lot about businesses and like scandals with businesses. People online like love to like talk about like, you know, conspiracies and scandals and things. I definitely got into that over lockdown. And it really did just like hit off. People were just interested in it. And I took kind of one topic and made like 10 videos about it and branched off into different things. And that is kind of how I hit the number that I'm at now. So
do you, for example, when I first started doing my YouTube videos for the channel, I put as many tags as I could. And then I read a lot about saying too many tags ain't good.
Yeah.
And I reduced it. Usually they say between 5 and 8 tags.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that the same?
Yeah, I suppose it depends on like where you're aiming it. I've defo used the SEO to my advantage.
What's the SEO?
Like search engine optimization.
Oh.
So like the use of keywords and like the topic and what you write in the description and the tags, it all ties together.
Yeah.
Some videos I, you know, can spend hours, you know, optimizing what I'm putting in it, and it has worked. But other times videos can do just as well, and you don't.
Yeah.
So
I spoke to somebody that's apparently an expert in this, and they said that the description and the title you give it, and even though it, for example, my show has a name, but if you put certain keywords in there, you're going to get more views. And I resisted it because I didn't want to.
Yeah.
I didn't want to put new with 3 exclamation marks. Or latest. And
well,
things
exactly.
Like
and it's finding the right keywords as well. Because one keyword might work really well for, you know, someone with 1 million followers or, you know, 100,000. But it's finding ones where your numbers, amount of number of fans you have will stand out in that keyword.
Yeah.
And making your content different to others. Because you might have, you know, under the keyword table, just for like a stupid example, you know, 1,000 videos. But if yours is a bit different or the thumbnail's a different colour, it stands out under the tag. So it all helps.
With your subscribers, with my channel, what I've noticed is the subscribers will go up and they might jump up by 20 or 30 or whatever, and then I'll drop down 1.
Yeah.
And that really gets me.
Yeah. Yeah.
You think, why?
Yeah.
But I suppose you do have small fluctuations.
Yeah.
I suppose with the amount and volume of subscribers you've got, you might not notice it, but...
Yeah, you do. Like, you still do. Yeah, like, it's one of them. I've definitely learned you'll never be satisfied with, even if it's going up every day. If one day it goes up more than another day, you're disappointed. But I've definitely learned to not check my analytics as much. I have been known to be on it every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But it can become like an unhealthy obsession. Yeah. But I know where you're coming from.
if I have a new video goes out for the first 48 hours, I'm constantly looking at how many views it's got, and I need to stop doing that.
Yeah, but when you get into not doing it, it almost becomes hard to check, if that makes sense. Yeah. I say give it a week, and then you know how well it's done.
Yeah.
Give it the time of day.
Yeah, but to see those kind of numbers go up must feel good.
Oh,
you know you're doing something right.
Well,
You've
exactly.
Got the formula correct, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're now, which I'm a million miles from, and I'm really interested to see at what point this happened, became monetized.
Yeah.
How many followers did you have? I think the current criteria for that is you need 4,000 hours of view time.
Yeah.
And 1,000 subscribers. Is that right?
Yeah, I've got a funny story about it.
Okay.
When I hit 1,000 subscribers, I was like, I've done it. I'm here. I've made it. Yeah. Monetize. Here I come. I go to apply, and I have 4,000 watch hours, but it's not in the last 365 days.
Ah, yes.
So I was like, oh, great. So it actually took me so it was March, took me till November, that following November, to hit the 4,000 mark. I applied, and then it wasn't until March that I got the email to accept that I've like been accepted into the monetization YouTube partner thing. Yeah. But it definitely felt like it all fell into place at the right time, because it was actually the day. So when I did it in November, I was like, hopefully by Christmas. Didn't get it by Christmas. Hopefully by the New Year. Not by the New Year. No. Then I thought, if I get it before I move house, then it'll be like a new beginning. Like, I'm monetized, great, new me, new channel, moved house, everything. Didn't happen. And it was actually the day after I moved into the house, I got the email. I was like, wow, it's all just fallen into place. So then I spent the whole lockdown, and that's when my channel really blew up. So I was like, it all happened at the perfect time. So
yeah, I'm going to use that term now. It blew up.
Yeah.
So with being monetized now, you get so much per month, and it's based on the number of views. Is that right?
Yeah.
I believe that even with the number of subscribers you got, that it's still not a great deal at first. The money, it's pennies, or a few pounds initially.
Yeah.
But
it's what it is. I find with it, it's what you make it, because it depends how you place them. Depends on how many ads you put in the video.
Because you can go end, middle, beginning, or even at 10-minute intervals or something.
Yeah, but what I've learned with it is, even if you put, let's say you put 3 or 4 in manually, they don't always show up for people. So you can actually put a few, if you think, I might just put 2, I'd put 3, because sometimes they don't show up.
Yeah. But do you have any say on the adverts that get shown? Because I know, for example, when I do this show, 3 or 4 days later, then it goes out as an audio podcast.
Right.
And different platforms, you can actually, the advertisers approach you, and you can choose whether to accept them or not.
Oh, right, okay,
On some of the ones I've looked at. But YouTube's not like that. You just...
No, it's just, I think it's random. Yeah. I couldn't tell you what's on it. I've never...
I think, to be honest, though, if you're so elated that you're actually being used to advertise on, and you're actually getting something for it and stuff.
Yeah.
Sod it. It doesn't matter. So what we might do, Els, is we'll just touch a little bit on lockdown. I won't go into it much, but I've done a few shows on it recently, and we talked about the different age groups, and I think it affects somebody like you probably a lot more than it does somebody like me, because I'm not that popular, I don't have much of a social life, and I don't go out much. Please don't nod when I say that. But for a younger age group, that's when you're out at the weekend, you see your friends all the time and everything. And how's it been? Because you have this outlet, you're very lucky, aren't you? Some way of expressing yourself and communicating and so on.
It was almost like the right time and the worst time. So I had a mixture of, so I was working in the hotel still. I had a job in a hotel. So that got stopped, but it was almost perfect because I was moving house. Yeah. And then I had my videos as something to do. So all my friends were just at home watching movies, but I actually had something to do in my time, which felt good, something to wake up and do in the morning. But I was also finishing sixth form. So I was in year 13 trying to finish my college, which was just a whole mess. So it was almost like things were great, but also the worst possible scenario.
Yeah. You mentioned sixth form. What did you do? What did you study?
Business. I did a BTEC in business, so not too sophisticated, but you get where you need to go. So
yeah, exactly. So what's next for Els? What's on the horizon? Because you're involved in the filming process. You're involved in providing the content because you're the star. Mm-hmm. You're also editing your own stuff. You've recently, you've finished college where you're at now. So, world's your lobster, isn't it? What's next?
Well, I was meant to go into Canada in January, but that's been put off. So I think I'm just filming and, doing work with people and just, see what comes to me, go with the flow.
Have you considered looking at colleges else where you might be going at some point?
So I've applied. I applied to unis for post-production and film. I have also looked into possible Bible colleges in America, but I suppose it just depends on lockdown. You don't know if you're going to be able to, so it's all just a
bit up in the air
question. Just see how the year goes.
But if I was your age, in your shoes, I'd definitely be looking to study something along the lines of film. I think that'd be really exciting. Yeah. What a career to be in.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe I will go to uni in a couple of years, but I think on this rate, I'm having a 2-year gap year because not doing what I was planning on doing travel-wise. So we'll just see what happens.
Yeah. Have you got friends and relatives in Canada, or are you just going to go and wing it?
No, I was going to do a snowboard instructor course.
Nice.
Yeah, so it was I was going for 3 months, and I've been me for 2 years, but I've just got the money. I'm just waiting to.
So you are pretty active then. Have you skied before and?
Yeah, when we were family, we tend to go hopefully at least once a year, or go to the Chill Factor and stuff, snowboarding something.
In Manchester.
Yeah. It's something me and my brother kind of bond over and get on. So I love it. It's great.
Yeah. I've been in the chill factor and then walked out again and went in air kicks instead.
Right.
That was more, skydiving's more my bag, I think. Yeah, I'm not as good on my feet. So, Els, I heard a story about a premium bond, and I read the book The Secret in 2006, and then I saw the movie. And I'm also a fan of Esther Hicks, and I'm, followed the law of attraction for quite a while. It was the sort of start of my spiritual journey, really, years ago. But anyway, the law of attraction, and you have a story about this to do with premium bonds.
Yeah.
Do you want to share that with us?
Yeah, so my dad, as we've touched on earlier in the podcast, is very big on spirituality and things like law of attraction. I was very big on it for a few years. I did watch the movie.
Yeah.
And I would be lying if I said I didn't implement it into my life. I definitely did. However, just based on my journey and what I've been doing, based on the fact, I'm a Christian and all of that, I don't deny it doesn't exist because of this story. So specifically, my dad was talking about it, and he said, we were talking about premium bonds, and I was saying, it's funny how when I turn 18, I can cash them out. I've not had a premium bond in 3, 4, 5 years.
Yeah.
He was like, well, go on, let's attract you a premium bond. I was like, you can attract me a premium bond. I'm not doing it. So I guess he went away and did whatever he did. And the next morning, there's a premium bond through my post box.
Whoa.
Yeah. This is what I'm saying is I'm not going to go, well, it's just a coincidence, because I do believe it exists completely.
I don't believe in coincidences.
Yeah. No, neither do I. But I just, based on my belief system, I don't believe it comes from what I believe in and a good place. Yeah. But, whatever works for you.
There's actually another movie now. Originally there was the Secret movie and the book.
Yeah.
Now there's actually a movie written as a fictional story called The Secret that's just come out. So another movie. But it predominantly, it all goes back to, Carl Jung, and he believes in synchronicity and alignment. It's about there being no coincidences, and that when you're on the right path and following your dharma or your heart, your true nature, yourself, that good things happen to you.
Yeah. I suppose it's just whatever wavelength you're on, and as you said earlier, you've got to try everything until you find what works.
And the Reverend Michael Beckwith says, the universe will correspond to the nature of your song. So when you're on the right path, everything falls into place.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No worries.
Els, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show. Quite a surprise. Yeah. A very nice surprise. Yeah. This little ray of sunshine coming into the studio. So, well, literally. Yeah, literally. But, I'm hoping that we stay in touch. We've talked about a couple of projects, things that maybe we get involved with. Yeah. I'm also, like I say, you're actually in this scenario, you're the guru and the master, and I'm learning, So you've been doing it a lot longer, and you know a lot more about YouTube, running a successful YouTube channel than I do. I always focused on, my goal was to, a lot of shows I'd watched like the Joe Rogan podcast and London Real, and even, I'm not a huge fan of this particular podcast, but I looked at it for other reasons, but there's one called The Real Geordie.
Right. I know him. Yeah.
And these shows, a lot of them, with The Real Geordie, I think the first 50 shows, with Joe Rogan, the first 300 shows, the quality was shocking.
Right.
So I decided that I was going to get the quality right from the beginning, and then hopefully get the decent content. And they reckon 35, 40 shows in, you start getting a bit of traction and momentum, and your viewers and subscribers go up. So that was my plan, and I think I'm very happy with where we've got with it. But I think I need to pick your brains. Yeah. And learn off you.
Go for it.
Definitely. Yeah. Thanks very much, Els. Yeah. And I'm subscribed to your channel now, and I'll be watching.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, Els, if somebody wants to find you, maybe tell us your YouTube channel, and also tell us maybe if they wanted to follow you on social media.
Yeah, it's just Els Garrett on everything. So ELZGARRETT.
Okay, and that's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter as well?
Yeah, okay. That's it.
And then on YouTube as well?
Yeah.
And they'll notice you because there's a couple of Elses, but there's only one with 13,000 subscribers.
Yeah. Only one wearing red sunglasses in a profile picture.
Yeah, we'll find you. Okay. Thank you. Thanks for watching, everybody. This has been the Midnight McBride Show number 39. I'm going to leave you with a quote from a book, From Pills to Peace. And this week, it's, when you never give up, it's impossible to fail. And this, I thought, was appropriate with Eleanor Garrett's YouTube channel, starting at the age of 11, 8 years down the road. And now in the last 12 months, it's jumped up to 13,000 subscribers. Whoa! You can catch this show every week, and we're going back up to 2 shows a week shortly on YouTube, and please subscribe if you feel inclined. 3 to 4 days later, this show will then go out as an audio podcast on Podbean, Spotify and iTunes. You can catch me on the radio every Monday night from 11 till 12. That's midnight till midnight with the Mind, Body and Spirit Show, Salford City Radio, 94.4 FM. You can also go to the website, which is midnightmcbride.com. And you can get me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook and LinkedIn. And you can get the first book, From Pills to Peace, on Amazon and in about 10, 12 other places. And you can also get the audiobook on audible.com, iTunes and ACX. This has been Midnight McBride, and I'll see you the same time next week. Shalom.